Welcome back to the third quarter of the Bobby003 Show, along with my sidekick here, Mr. Andrew.
Good morning.
We've got several of our sponsors that we need to mention, and also we have a few deaths we want to speak about that we knew well or knew of.
We can start with the Piggly Wiggly. You know, it's Memorial Day weekend. Everybody's going to be off on Monday and can barbecue and do all kind of stuff. You can go right now and get you some of those good catfish strips from Guidry's or the nuggets over at Piggly Wiggly. 4 pounds for $12.99. You can get the sirloin pork chops, family packs, 99 cents a pound. And the spare ribs, man, that's good on the grill.
Oh, yeah. Easy too.
$1.89 a pound with sweet ripe watermelons and corn. You can get all that good stuff. Go by your local Piggly Wiggly with 3 locations, 2 in Opelousas, 1 in beautiful downtown Simsport.
I'll tell you what, I was there yesterday afternoon. That would have been Tuesday afternoon, and I needed some boxes. Megan's having to move from one apartment to another. She had been at the other one 2 years, which or 3 years.
You can accumulate a lot. 2 years. You can accumulate a lot.
Yeah, and went by, and I mean, when I said I needed some boxes, did they have any? I mean, there was a young man there, boom, brought us right there. All we needed was available, and I said, well, what's the cost of this? Free. So
that's the best cost.
That really helped out. Made me feel good that yes, they are one of our sponsors. So when you talk about them, they do other things to help the community, as you know.
Very active for us with the Cerebral Palsy Clinic to help out all of our kids there with the Breakfast with Santa every year.
Every year. Kevin.
How about Carl's Thrifty Way? If you want to go down and get some medicinal needs, they got the Instamold at Carl's Thrifty Way. We're talking about they actually will fit you with the correct ear protectors for swimming, for shooting, all that type of thing. They can help you out with it. And don't forget about gourmet coffees and candies. They got Tyler candles, bath and body products, Lamborghini lamps and oils, jewelry. They even do monogramming and gift wrapping for you as well. They'll even go to your house to help you do interior decorating. Go by Carl's Thrifty Way and beautiful gift shop.
On the death side, I saw a picture and a name that I recognize. I'm speaking of Mr. Ray Guidry Sr. And Ray was one of the owners of Guidry's Hardware. And of course, they do a lot of fabricating also. They came up with the Cajun barbecue pit years ago and has been a seller worldwide. They ship those worldwide. And the first time I met Ray was over in Mexico. Ashley, Nick, and I were on a motorcycle trip. We were along the West Coast. We had left what's the big place down?
Acapulco.
Acapulco. We had left Acapulco. We were coming up there, and we never knew why, but Nick knew why we were heading to one of these. There's 2 famous resorts there on the west coast of Mexico, and we found out when we arrived that it was a group from Lake Charles and Lafayette that he knew several of them on, and we had a blast. And Ray, of course, was a backdoor neighbor with my brother John. And soon after John moved there, they became friends, and in the afternoons they would drink a little glass of red wine together. And if I'm not mistaken, the last time I saw Ray was with his wife. They were over at one of the affairs that the programs that are held between the Cajun Harley Davidson and Fizzo's there. They have big dance and fun afternoons. Forget for the name, but we've talked about it a lot of times. And Ray and his wife were there. I think that was the last. My deepest sympathies. And of course, his daddy was a character, Mr. Percy, and his friend was Mr. Goodall, and Mr. Percy had an old Model A truck, a pick-em-up truck, and Mr. Goodall had probably a 1915, 17 Model T, or it was a convertible. And between the 2 of them, they put on a show bigger than the rest of the whole parade, just the 2 of them. But anyhow.
You go down Jefferson, it's still got all those, I guess, all the cousins now that run all the different businesses, from Percy Guidry to Guidry's Hardware to all the different places. And it's so funny, the same day that this was Monday, this
picture here was in the obituary was Monday. He was buried Monday. And the same day, they're speaking of a tax grace period to help buy hurricane supplies, where you get this 4%
tax credit.
Tax credit, and that's taking place this Saturday and Sunday. And some of the items that you can buy is portable generators, storm shutter, portable light sources, cellular phone batteries, on and on and on.
And the article shows Guidry Hardware as the picture.
At the picture. I mean, a real coincidence. A great family. They've been very active in that Lafayette area for many, many years.
I bought plenty of cooking stuff there.
And what about the deadly storm that passed through Oklahoma, Moore, Oklahoma, and Oklahoma City? Moore is a suburb of 50, 60,000 people.
Really bad. The first estimates were high numbers. I think now we're looking at 20-something that are deceased from the
killed.
Still, and a lot of children.
Almost 10 of them are children that didn't have underground cells.
A cellar or basement at the school.
At the school. But I'm sure all of that's going to be in the new buildings, because you can see what happened. And there was a whole section of a hospital, and this lady in charge of taking care of that item, she was a doctor. She was interviewed last night, and she had moved them into I guess a safer section of the hospital. It ripped off just about half of the building, and they didn't have an injury of any consequence.
And they had about 15 minutes. A lot of people, if you listen to your radio, you had 15 minutes to get ready.
But usually you have more than that. So, but this thing dropped out the sky, was not expected to be a tornado, and it's one of the fiercest tornadoes that ever hit in the world, they said.
Yeah, you're right.
In the
one
world.
Of the biggest ever.
That's big when you're talking about the world.
We also have other obituaries. We've got Miss Maya Norris that passed away. And a lot of you know about Maya, that the big fundraiser for her earlier this year to cancer. 15 years old here in town. Our condolences to her parents, Michael and Joan.
And of course, we know Noonie real well.
The grandparents, right,
Gautreaux.
Cheryl and Noonie Gautreaux, and the other grandparent, Miss Betty Norris. So our deepest sympathies to them, and of course all her siblings.
And Mike Sharkey from Port Barre.
Correct.
His wife, of course, is Dr. Paula Sharkey originally she's from Port Barre.
Paula Roberts, if you went to high school in Port Barre, grew up right across the street from me in Port Barre.
And she's a councilwoman on Port Barre.
Very active with basketball,
council.
and Mike was too. If you did any pool tournaments, Mike was always involved with the pool tournaments and all. A lot of people didn't realize how well educated he was.
I met him, he had brought his young son. They were shooting pool when Eddie had Eddie's here in Opelousas on the service road, I-49 service road. And that was the first time I ever met him. He was teaching his young son how to play pool. So when I read that, I said, that obituary is correct.
He'd shoot with my two cousins, Terry Stanford and Cody Stanford, down there in Port Barre. Good morning, folks.
And in loving memory of our beloved mother who passed away, she died 7 years ago, and we're speaking of Miss Lucy, better known as Miss Duplichan. What a character. Boy, I remember politicking with her and attending meetings, and she always had that beautiful smile and very upbeat about life. I know y'all miss her, and we do too, Miss Duplichan.
How about good morning to Mr. Murphy and Miss Virgie Longclaw? I saw them at church this morning. They wanted me to, it's Sunday morning, and they told me to tell you good morning, and I said,
Murphy was a classmate of mine, 1955 graduate at Opelousas High School.
There you go.
And another person that died recently was Richard Reese, Richard Claude Reese. He was a city policeman in Lafayette for about 23 years, if I remember reading the article correctly. He had just bought himself a special edition Harley-Davidson 2013 made for law enforcement officers. I didn't know that they made such. Must be something kind of new. He always rode a Honda, and had just moved up to his Harley-Davidson, and for some unknown reason kind of straightened out a curve, and he got killed right there in the accident immediately. He was pronounced dead at the scene. I'll get it correct.
I think a child graduating high school this past week, and another one getting his ring to graduate the next year. So real tough on the family.
Real hard. Look at that smile.
Yeah.
He was well known and respected in the community. And another police officer in another city got killed also on a motorcycle accident. So we all better be careful and not too much drinking, you know, maybe one
stay away
beer,
from that.
but a lot of times you go on these poker runs, and most of your stops are at ballrooms.
Drink coffee till the end.
Drink coffee, and then you party at the end when you get home that night.
May 27th, that's Memorial Day, this coming Monday. The Catholic Daughters, Court 119, is going to have a patriotic rosary over at St. Landry Catholic Church at 5:30 p.m. The public, all veterans, are all invited to come. If you want to join in, call Miss Yvonne Norman, 308-3474. I heard a rumor that Yvonne is retiring soon from teaching.
Oh, but she's going to be doing something else.
She can't retire from all the organizations because she's in
no.
every club and societal organization in town.
And she's got so
Yvonne.
much talent that somebody will be
yeah.
looking for her in a hurry if she doesn't already have something lined up. The Bayou Teche Brewery that the Knott brothers started not that many years ago, between 5 and 10 years ago.
Right.
They continued just getting some great write-ups. And while we were at the Peche restaurant last Thursday night, the Donald Link restaurant that he just recently opened, I spoke to the barmaid. They had the Highway 31 beer. I said, does that sell a little bit? She said, it sells very, very good.
Really?
In fact, within a minute or two after that, someone ordered and it was on tap, and then another one ordered in the bottle sitting right near me. So yes, it is selling, and we're very, very happy. The Daily World had a very, very nice positive article in Sunday's edition of May 19th.
Let me show this photo real quick. This is a mural. You want to show this, Steve? A mural painted over at, I guess, is that the Union Fire Station, I guess is what it's called, right there in the middle of town, right there on Union Street?
Right next to my office building and the Cornerstone Bible Church.
There's an old antique fire truck inside the fire hall, and it's named after Miss Lelle Dupree Robertson. And they just did a mural dedicated to her in remembrance of her. You know, in those days, firemen was all volunteer. So the men and the women were very active in fundraising and helping out. And she's kind of an icon in firefighting, even was very involved with helping calls and helping get things out for certain fires here in town. And had a big dedication. The whole family came together. The other fire truck there is named after her husband, Alex Robertson, there as well. And of course, you always hear me talk about my Aunt Lillian. That was her in-laws there in town, and I guess great-grandparents of my step-siblings. So good morning, the whole Robertson family. Congratulations. It's a great thing, and the OC did the mural very beautiful.
While I speak a little bit here, would you look and see if there's a picture of one person by himself while we were over at the graduation up in the Superdome? I thought I had taken a picture of Mr. Jack Whitehead. We sure did speak a good while, and I thought the camera had taken it, but sorry, Mr. Jack, I meant to take your picture, but apparently it didn't come through.
Didn't take. What else we got? How about this? They got the summer camp going.
Then with the Dalai Lama was the big attraction at the graduation. They sold somewhere between 35 and 40,000 tickets to the same ceremony that
just for people to hear him speak.
To listen to him speak.
Message of peace. That's his.
Right, and very. I don't know, he's kind of funny. Well, we have to take another break. We'll talk about the Dalai Lama in a minute.